Hey, what's up, Sam? How are you doing? How you doing? How you doing? Okay. Okay. Hopefully there's not too much going on the screen. I'm gonna double check just to make sure. It doesn't look like we got too much going on there. Just got this little OBS thing for the channel. Little Instagram follow if you guys want to follow me there. But today I want to basically discuss some findings. I've done some deep research on what's currently going on with the U.S. stock market. Basically, what's going on with cryptocurrency and how it didn't crash to 3,500 like most thought, even myself. What's up, Sam? How you doing? I'm basically going to go over my market perspective and what I see the coming year into the end of 2018 and what we should expect into 2019 and how cryptocurrency is going to rise to full-scale adoption with this current market sentiment and what's really going on behind the scenes. So I'm going to give you my broad perspective, and I'm going to show you guys some clear-cut, informative facts that you guys can, do research on yourself to get you in the right, state of mind so you can make decisions to help benefit yourself and your family coming forward and not be left in the dark until the public finds out what's really going on. So I just want to make sure we got some viewers in here. Hello. I wanted to do this as a live stream more so than an actual video, just because I want some live questions for people who do have questions. And I want to go over what's going on with the United States stock market and oil and Bitcoin as a whole. So let's basically get started. So December, boom. We get like a huge November, December boom in Bitcoin. And then a bust around late January, February-ish into March. And we start to see this when Bitcoin did take its huge drop right about here. You can see it on the weekly. This same week, okay? This same day, same week, we saw a huge drop in the United States stock market, okay? And that's no coincidence that February 1st was the drop and Bitcoin started dropping around February 1st, okay? It's same time frame. Now, what I'm trying to get at here is the United States stock market, in my opinion and from my research and findings, has been propped up through a few things. Quantitative easing, which is what they were doing when the 08 crash, which is right here, okay? When that happened, and they were using that to fix it, which was basically adding more money into the economy without any real GDP growth. So that's one big thing, quantitative easing, and they didn't finish the whole thing. Also, the Federal Reserve, from my knowledge, is buying the bonds and issuing money at the same time, which creates a huge conflict of interest. Now, I'm no economical, guru or something like that, and I do not claim to be. I'm just an investor in the markets who follows the trend. And once we had that trend change in February, I started asking myself some questions. Being 21, I don't have a boatload of experience, but I do feel like I have a gift for this. Numbers are my thing, and I could tend to pick up on patterns and read things in the market that most people take a while to read. I did have a lot of trial and error going through this and emotional control issues, but once I figured that all out, I started asking myself some questions, and what really caused the big run in the market here? Trump's presidency. That was a big thing. The big change in infrastructure, all this optimism that was greater than the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Now, I want to get to what the Federal Reserve's doing. They're pumping money into the economy. What's up, guys? What's up? So basically, what's going on is the Federal Reserve is pumping money into the economy at a roughly 5-to-1 ratio. Don't quote me on that, but that's a ratio you can kind of build a basis point off. So build your use a scientific method to form a conclusion on your observation through the whole scientific method process. But basically, what's going on is the Federal Reserve has created $5 of just money to $1 of GDP, which is extraordinary. And as the numbers multiply and as people are born into the world, that's going to increase. Now, the numbers really aren't that great because they haven't tied in with inflation. The job growth hasn't tied in with inflation. The amount of money people are getting paid hasn't tied in with inflation. And when you're pumping money into the economy, it doesn't hit all at once. The dollar is dropping, and I want to make this clear to everyone. It's not going to affect every area right away, okay? Let me show you this. The dollar, what's its money sign? DXY. There we go. So you can see the dollar itself, right there. Come on. Why is this not working? I want to show you guys a chart so you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. Alright. Hey, I'm busy. Can you do a live stream? But basically, I don't know why the dollar's not pulling up here, but basically the dollar has been artificially inflated. There we go. Here we go. Okay. So I want to make this clear to you guys. You can see the US dollar is just on a whipsaw type pattern. You can see, going into 2000 when we had an actual bubble, the dollar was increasing, which is what you would expect. Now, after that, it really didn't go anywhere. It had a nice little pop here in 08, okay, dropped right back down, a nice little pop here in 2010, dropped right back down, and then we had a minor boom. Now what's going on? The dollar's dropping again, okay? We dropped, we're up there with the euro about close to about 80 cents to a euro, and then we continue dropping again. So what's going on is the Fed is continuing to pump more money into the economy without any real economic growth. This causes a problem. Why? Because there's no growth. And what does the stock market represent? Growth in the economy, growth in industries. Now, this is just the beginning. Okay, understand this. This is not going to all happen at once. But we're starting to see this, play out into gas. One, gas is starting to go up. That's the first sign. Two is what are we starting to see is forms of commodities that people like to use as safety nets are starting to increase in value. And the dollar is going back up again. So it just doesn't make sense. The one thing we have to kind of look at is, let me get to it here, is what is the Federal Reserve doing, and what did this tax cut that people were so optimistic on do really? What did it do for business? It was so hyped up that it was going to change everything. It really didn't. It created different loopholes. It moved a couple names, shifted a bunch of things around, and no one takes the time to read it. The average American in the public does not read a 500-page tax cut, bill. They won't read it, and that's the purpose of it. You won't read what's going on, and that's why capitalism is not flawed. It's just due to ignorance and people, hoping and fearing. And so here's a quote. Let me keep this simple, okay? The stock market is never obvious. It is designed to fool most people most of the time, okay? And emotional control is the most essential factor in playing the market. Never lose control of your emotions when the market moves against you. Don't get too confident over your wins or too despondent over your losses. And what I'm trying to say is people are too confident. They're too optimistic. There's no infrastructure plan put in place. The Fed's continuing to pump money in the economy, and this is causing loss of value to your hard-earned dollar. How do you make your money? What are you paid in? You're paid in the US dollar. Now, where does Bitcoin and all this come into play? I want you guys to do some more research on what's going on with bonds, the yields, how commodities have to play in this, how gold has to play in this, and how quantitative easing and everything the Fed was doing to try to, get rid of 2008 was just a band-aid. It was just, we'll deal with these problems and we'll have the new generation deal with them. How student loans are just being pumped in to the, to students, and people are just filing debt. Debt is the biggest thing. That debt causes every stock market crash. The Great Depression was fueled on debt because people were just buying. Then when it came time to sell, people were just holding. People were holding, and when their loans got called on, how are they going to pay for it? They weren't. And that basically caused a major expansion when the economy was going up, and it was the roaring 20s, and then a huge contraction destroying the economy. And I don't know if it's going to happen again, but it sure as hell is leading to something like that. The Federal Reserve is just not regulated enough. They're not in control. You could do the research. They're just kind of too caught up in politics, and that's not how it's supposed to be. And basically, they're literally destroying our currency. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen over the course of the next day, 5 days, week, month, 2 months. It might happen in the next 6 months. It might happen in a year, 2 years. We'll see how things play out. There are going to be certain indicators and certain signs you have to look for. But the first sign is oil, commodities starting to go up. Now, how does this have to do with Bitcoin and all this good stuff, okay? So Bitcoin is what? A hedge towards inflation. Bitcoin was created for this exact reason what's going on now. Because banks are, there's moral hazard when people are loaning money, taking out debt, doing all this BS. There's moral hazard when it comes to money, fiat currency. People are, thinking in their own best self-interest and not in the self-interest of the people, the United States, and, the world as a whole. They're just thinking, oh, it's for me, myself, and yada, yada, yada. So basically what happens is the money is going to trickle down, and it's just going to go through the rich, okay? And basically how I like to explain this with inflation is, okay, it prints out at the Federal Reserve, it's worth $1. And then the rich get it, it's worth 99 cents. And then the upper middle class and the lower class rich people get it, it's worth 90. And then the upper middle class get it, it's worth 85, 80. And then the middle, actual middle class gets it's worth 70 cents. And then the lower middle class gets it's worth 65 cents. And then the poor gets it and it's worth about 50 cents. And then it continues that spiral till it's just worth zero. Okay? Now I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm saying that's just an analogy to take into fact. Now, how does this have to do with Bitcoin? Bitcoin's exactly trying to solve this problem. The moral hazard going on with money. People loaning out money that they don't have and they know they won't get back for bonuses, for instant returns, for instant gratification, all this good stuff. Now, how does Bitcoin come into play? Let's make it obvious, okay? Bitcoin had a massive expansion and contraction, okay? It found a bottom, and now it's currently stabilizing between about $7,000 to $10,000. We're going to see it start to stabilize and probably create a stair-stepping pattern and move up. What we're going to see happen is when the stock market starts to take bigger hits. Right now it's still holding up, but when we start to see the S&P, okay, this is SPY, we'll go to the SPX. When this starts falling and we see it around the 2,500 area, you're going to start seeing Bitcoin rapidly increase and increase and increase because people are going to start to realize what's actually going on. And then there's going to be a few events. I can't tell you what the events are going to be, but the events are going to happen that are going to trigger more panic, more fear, and more everything. So now, let's get into back to the Federal Reserve. The interest rates, okay, they're going to increase them 4 times this year. What is that going to cause? Okay, people have variable or fixed rate. If you don't have a fixed rate mortgage, your variable rate mortgage is going to increase, okay? People who can't afford to have a home, same thing as in '08, are going to get foreclosed on. So just keep that in mind. And you lost your money that you put in your house. It's gone, okay, unless you sell it. Second, people have student loans, credit cards, just ran up debt for no reason, have no savings, no money. That's going to be gone. They're going to lose everything because they were ignorant. Hey, keep it down. Keep it down. They were ignorant and they weren't keeping track of their money. Okay? And that's going to literally affect everyone. And the rich are obviously going to, succeed because they're knowledgeable and they know what they're doing. That's why they got the money in the first place. So basically, that's going to happen. And then once those interest rates go up, basically, the companies who run on debt, they're going to have to pay interest on their debt. And what's going to happen with that? They're going to start losing money. Their stock's going to come down. And you get it. It's a domino effect. Okay? People are going to lose trust in the stock market, which they shouldn't. They're going to lose trust in the Federal Reserve, which they should. And they're going to realize that Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is the solution to this problem. Now, people are going to tell you, okay, Bitcoin's worth $20,000. It's so expensive. How am I going to buy it? You could buy the fractions. Simply accumulate these cryptocurrencies in a proper manner. 10, 20% of your total paycheck. Be smart, be educated. Know what's going on in the government, and what the government's telling you is just a fictional illusion. Also, I want to make it clear that the Federal Reserve is not benefiting you at all. They're degrading your money and making it absolute shit. So once a revolution hits, you're going to see cryptocurrency go back on a rise. And that's why a lot of people are saying Bitcoin is going to go to $100,000 because they understand the fundamental issues at play that most do not see. And it won't be clear to the public till it's already over, okay? I want to keep that clear. I hope I wasn't going too fast. I hope I didn't scare anyone. I don't know how many viewers. We got 7 viewers in here. I think the most we had was 8, 9 viewers. What are we good on the live stream? I want to make sure everything is live. Okay, cool. So, do you guys have questions? I don't know if I was going too fast. I can refer you to more information so you can Google this and understand really what's going on. I'm not talking out of my ass here. I do mean business, and I again do apologize. I've been gone for a while. I did short Bitcoin, made a ton of money. I'm busy right now. Can you stop? I did make a ton of money on that. Made about $5,000 off a $300 investment. And then I'm going long. I'm accumulating Bitcoin slowly, and I'm buying every week about $20 of each cryptocurrency that I think is important. If you guys want to know what it is, it's Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, and Ripple, and Litecoin. That's it. That's all I need right now. I'm graduating college, so I'm going to have time to work and put out more content. But I really, really want to push this legitimate issue to you guys because it's clear. It's very obvious, and the millennials are going to have to deal with this problem. So I want to prepare anyone who watches my videos. I know most probably won't take me serious till it actually happens. That's fine. It's your loss. I'm getting ready. So just be careful of what's going on. Don't believe the fugazi that's going on. It's the same bullshit, boom and bust. Understand you can make money in a downward market much faster than you could in an upward market. If you guys want to get a leveraged account, I recommend JaffX. Throw $100, $200. Start shorting the stock market slowly. Start buying Bitcoin slowly and accumulate it and keep building on your gains. That's really, the best you can do, regardless of if you have $50 to your name or $10,000 to your name. I hope this was like a clear warning sign of what is potentially going to happen. Now, this couldn't happen. This could just be a pullback, and that's fine. It could be a pullback, and cool. Do I think it is? I don't think it is. I really don't. The signs do not point to a pullback. Commodities are going up. Like, let's look at gold. Gold is near breakout levels here. Okay. Okay. Gold's about to break out. You can see gold is making like a form of a U shape. You can see here was the dump, comes up, and now it's just forming a U shape. It's selling off a bit, and it's just going to build a nice form of support here on the weekly, make higher lows, and go up. You still have time, so I don't want people to panic. I don't want people to rush into this. You have time. You have about 6 months to a year, in my opinion. So accumulate wisely. Be smart with what you're doing with your money, and I don't want to tell any of my viewers I told you so. I'll continue to push out content. I am finishing up school here. I didn't come into cryptocurrency to say, oh, make money in the bubble. It was nice, and now I'm done. No, I know what I'm talking about here. I've made the fucking mistakes. I've done, all that, and I want to try to help people make logical decisions and provide them with information that they can help themselves build a future, that's brighter and better than their parents gave them. So just keep that in mind. If anyone has questions, feel free to let me know. But basically, for anyone who just joined, I went over how the Federal Reserve is pumping money into the economy at record rates. They're buying up bonds at record rates, which, if you guys don't know, it's pretty simple. When you issue money, you issue a bond. The bond is supposed to combat the fiat equation of the whole. So basically what happens, okay, the Federal Reserve issues $1, and then they issue a bond, 30-year treasury, whatever. I'm not huge into how the whole system works, but I have a general understanding. They issue the bond. The bond is like a 30-year bond where someone buys it, and in 30 years they get a fixed interest rate and it pays back. It's supposed to calculate into the equation inflation. Now, basically, what's going on is it's a good system. It works for now, but what they're doing is they're issuing the money and buying the bond. What does that cost? The Federal Reserve is holding the bond, so then no one's buying it. And what's going to happen is when they hold too many bonds, okay, and the U.S. dollar starts crashing, what's going to happen? The economy will crash. It's very obvious. And I don't know if it will happen when it will happen, but the signs are starting to lead up to it. So just please be aware of what's going on. Read into quantitative easing. Read into subprime loans. They have now non-prime loans. Read into adjustable mortgages. Read into the debt ratio, the government deficit. Read what the tax plan's about. Read why the market ran. These companies that operate, and mostly they're technology companies that, the NASDAQ broke the 2000 bubble, okay, and it made it a pretty clear top. I've been screaming this out to so many people, and no one's listening to me in some of our chats, that this is a clear top. We're going to have a nice drop off, okay, which was what we already had, a bounce back up. People are going to get optimistic, and then a crash. It's going to be the same type of story, okay? And that's going to lead us probably into, let's see, where are we here? Yep, probably into mid-2018. Late 2018, perfect timing. And then a crash going into 2019, early 2019 to mid-2019, okay? You got to understand what's going on and how the markets were propped up. A lot of these tech companies operate on debt. If interest rates increase 4 times, keep it down, please. If interest rates, increase 4 times this year, they're going to be paying 4 times the amount of interest rates, reducing, obviously, do the math here, 4 times the interest rates are going to increase 4 times. Okay, I'm busy. Hey, I'm on live camera. Come on. People just don't understand the business. They don't take it seriously. Basically, sorry, just so many distractions. The interest rates will go up 4 times this year. Regardless of the percentage, that means companies are going to have to pay 4 times the amount of interest they're already paying. Okay, reducing their profits by the same ratio. What's that going to cause? Lower stock prices. Lower optimism in the stock market. Okay, then people are going to start asking questions. What's going on? And then they're going to find out what's actually going on. Huge sell-off, huge panic, crash, all same story, same broken record playing again. Okay? What's the use of trading BTC USD if it's losing value? You don't trade BTC USD. You buy BTC and you hold it. I don't trade BTC. What I'm doing, okay, here's my strategy. Okay, I'm gonna make it clear, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly what I'm doing. Okay, I've set up my simple CoinBase. I could buy it on my debit card. Okay, and then basically you can see, I've made thousands of dollars on Bitcoin. Received March 27th, yada yada. I had to pay off my student loans. I have like $5,000 in student loans that I paid most of it off. But I had to pay off credit card debt, and that's what I use my Bitcoin for. I use my profits, trading profits. So the point is now the US dollar is it's going up. Okay, it's not gonna happen instantly. Okay, don't close your mind to that it's gonna happen right away when you think it's gonna happen. The market tells you when it's gonna happen, so don't deny that. What I'm trying to say is you want to buy Bitcoin, because Bitcoin in the next 10 years is gonna be worth way more, and it's gonna hold more intrinsic value moving forward throughout your life than the US dollar will. Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. So you trade your US dollar in for Bitcoin, so then in 5 years you have more US dollars than you would have had today if you just held your US dollars. That's the trade you're making. And it's the same for Ripple. Ripple is probably going to be, I think, the medium of exchange, and how we're going to start to manage fiat a little better through banks and try to mitigate the moral hazard. Fiat will not go away, but it's going to be more strict and more regulated, and eventually people are going to lose confidence in fiat once another crisis comes around. It could be this one, it could be the next one, I don't know. But do you guys kind of understand what I'm trying to get at here? The Federal Reserve has basically been pumping money into the economy at record rates. They didn't even do Q4 quantitative easing, which is literally pumping money in the markets. What they're doing is filling their balance sheet with bonds, and selling the money, putting the money into the economy and the market. And basically, for anyone who doesn't know, and the easiest way is, okay, you have the piece of paper, you have the money. Okay, this is some Arabic money. So say this, okay, this Arabic money. What do you got to issue to make this money valuable besides paper? You got to issue a bond. So you have the bond. This is the bond right here, okay? So you have someone who buys the bond that's 30 years out that'll pay them in US dollars with a 5% interest rate, okay? So now this is the bond. This is the bond. This is the money. The purchaser is the glue. Glues it together. Now the money is valuable, okay? Now what happens when you start issuing a ton of these, or you issue more money than bonds, or you're issuing money and then the people who are issuing money are buying the bonds? What does that cause? Okay, it causes a conflict of interest. When you get a conflict of interest in a marketplace, it does not work. It's just period. It doesn't work. It's a conflict of interest for a reason. Okay, And now the Federal Reserve is being tied up with the government, which is not how you want it to be, as much as it is now. You want it spread apart. So just read about Alexander Hamilton and all that stuff and how that whole treasury system works. I'm no expert in that, but I have a general understanding, okay? And people might, go to my statements and go, oh, well, you flawed this, you flawed that. That doesn't matter. I really don't care. I'm just trying to get the point across here. So basically what the market is telling me is that there's been a lot of fake money coming in the market, and you can see we've increased record rates. And Bitcoin is going to be the hedge. Bitcoin, any cryptocurrency that is valuable. None of this fucking Tron bullshit. Don't buy Tron and ask me a dumb question like, will Tron be valuable? No. Get your head out of your ass and trade like a man or woman you are. Don't trade like an ignorant freaking fool. Okay? And I'm sorry that was harsh, but that's just how the world works, okay? Be smart with your money. 10% of every paycheck. Still have US dollars. I'm not saying US dollars are going to just disappear. I'm saying there's a conflict of interest with the people who create your money, and you should be aware of what's going on. They don't want you to till it's too late, okay? And that's when regulators are going to come in and deal with the problem, okay? It's history. It's history repeating itself all over again. Now, what I recommend you do. Stick to watching my videos. Continue investing in cryptocurrency at a slow, passive rate. Obviously accumulating money as much as you can, when you can, at low prices, and continue to make money. It's that simple. Thank you, family first. You can't trust the government. It's flawed. There's gonna be a revolution. I have a feeling. My intuition's telling me there's gonna be a revolution. There's too much BS going on with the government, with police brutality, with the government. There's so much injustice going on, and we're not sticking to the Constitution, which is what we should be, and that's what we're going to go back to. And I see us moving back to a one-party system, or people are going to get too socialist and blame the stock market for all their problems, which is not the stock market. It's the people who are running the government. It's the government, not the stock market. People are just flawed thinking. So basically, what I suggest anyone who's watching this video do, educate yourself on bond yields and how they're flattening. Educate yourself on previous market crashes, especially the Great Depression and the '08 crash. Understand what caused those. They're mostly caused by debt. Understand what quantitative easing is, okay? And watch this video, okay? This guy really kind of hits the nail on the head when it comes to everything and anything I just said, okay? Watch The Big Short, honestly. I mean, if you haven't watched that, you should, because it's a really simple way of understanding everything. Watch this video, okay, by Peter Schiff, I believe. I'm not good at pronouncing, but watch this guy. He really explains it really well, and he'll give you a clear, concise view of really what's going on. And people are going to neglect it. I'm glad Family First and a few other you guys understand what's going on. And this is opportunity. From great crisis brings great opportunity. So get the job done. I'm going to keep making videos. I'm going to keep pushing them out. I'm sorry I had like a little hiatus. I was busy with school. I was busy figuring out some stuff with my life. Getting my priorities correct, getting my mind straight. So I got it straight. And I'm focused. And this is what I want to do. This is the industry I want to be a part of. Cryptocurrency is definitely going to be changing the world and how we do business with each other, because right now the US dollar is just not a good medium of exchange anymore after the Bretton Woods system was stopped. So just research what I suggest again one more time. I know I talk fast. I know it sounds like I'm just crazy sometimes, but I have a lot of stuff going on in my mind, and I want to get it out to the public for people to understand. Basically, I want you guys to research what the Federal Reserve is doing with money, what quantitative easing is, how this 2008 financial crisis was caused and what caused it, understand what caused the Great Depression, understand what propped up the tech bubble, understand what happened in 1987, understand what's going on now, why gasoline prices and oil prices and energy prices are going, and how that directly correlates with the market itself. Understand what cryptocurrency is meant to do. Read into what Satoshi wanted cryptocurrency to do, and then start researching what good cryptocurrencies to invest in. Again, Bitcoin, Ripple, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, probably the best ones in Litecoin. And then move forward with your decision making. Plan it out. 10% of your income move to Bitcoin, 10%, and split that out. 20. So you have $100, 20 into each one, slowly accumulate at every price, and move on. If you don't have enough money, don't complain about that. Just take smart, educated decisions and better yourself, so then when the crisis does hit, you're ready and you seize the opportunity when it's there. Also, I suggest opening up a JAFX account and start trading on that if you want to trade the upswings to build more income and short the market, the stock market. And that's all I got, guys. I actually got to run to work. I love talking about this stuff. I hope you guys can see I'm very, very passionate. I will be making more videos on a consistent basis. I'm trying to do at least 3 a week. And for me, this is not about the money. It's for the education, sharing knowledge with people, and making myself a better person and adding value to you, and you guys adding value to my life as well, because that's what it's about. It's about growing as humankind, mankind growing, and not letting our emotions and our setbacks and all this negative stuff to make us make negative decisions for the future. Okay, we have to really build and not make these past mistakes. And how a society strays from these past mistakes is by educating. And you can see education is a big problem in the United States. So just educate yourself. You've got the internet. You can do it. I believe in everyone who's watching this video. You can make financial decisions that can benefit you and your family moving forward. I'm 21 years old. I believe that I can make $1 million in the next couple of years. So that's my goal. But I do have priorities set in line. So make sure you have your priorities set in line. Write them down. Read the book Richest Man in Babylonia. Read Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. Watch The Big Short. Watch Margin Call. And read. Don't fucking mess with drugs. Don't do all that stupid shit. Really understand that you have time, and there's an opportunity here that you could seize, and don't waste it. That's literally all I want to try to put out there. I will be back. I have to go to work right now, make that money so that I can buy some more Bitcoin. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Sorry for rambling on. I just have a lot to say, and I wanted to educate my fellow viewers on doing so. So I appreciate you watching my video, and thank you for spending time with me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and please take what I said into consideration. Catch you guys in the next one.